Namaste, beautiful souls and Venus lovers. Welcome back to my channel. This is Dr. Danny, physician astrologer. Today, we are going to take Venus through the constellation of Libra. Even though it is Scorpio season through the tropical horoscope, our dear, beautiful morning star is traveling through the constellation of Libra and making some interesting aspects. So I thought we'd talk a little bit about that today. The title of the talk is Venus is on Trial. And this is not a bad thing, okay? What I'm going to do is talk a little bit about Libra. Then I'm going to review some of the December energies the week before Libra, or the week before Venus goes into Libra. Then we're going to dive into the transits and the forecast, okay? This is a quick transit. It's only 2 weeks. So we should be feeling this energy pretty quickly. But what I sense in general, and this is when you think about the constellation of Libra, it's the scales, right? It's the energy between two extremes, between two worlds. It's the sun between two worlds, okay? And so in order to go through this trial, the Venus energy, the creative energy has to let go. It's almost preparing for the transformative energy that comes at us when Venus does actually begin to enter the constellation of Scorpio and Ophiuchus in the galactic center. It's very, very important that we don't carry with us through that energy the negative attachments to our energies. Otherwise, it's only going to be used against us with fear and anger. Taking stuff into Scorpio is going to highlight your biggest fears and angers. You have to be prepared to let go. And before I started recording this video, all of that has already started happening. And what happens is this tremendous energy opens up inside of you, and you can see how high your potential might actually go. So, let's see. I wanted to just tell you a couple of things before I jump into the transits real quick. It's really important that you understand Scorpio and Ophiuchus energy. Okay, I have a video where Sun and Mars are transiting through the constellations of Scorpio and Ophiuchus. I will leave a link to that video so you guys can watch that when you're done watching this, or you can pause this and go watch this and then come back. Because to understand the tremendous power of the sun being in that energy, everything that Venus has to go through, this is all going to tie together. So I will leave that video there. Oh, also, we had an amazing class on last Saturday, about Ophiuchus energy. We went really deep. We looked at all the planets and the houses through the lens of Ophiuchus. It was incredible. But if you missed it, don't worry. That course is going to be available on my course website right now. It is $22 with the promo code Thank You 33. I will leave a link for that so y'all can check that out as well. So let me show you a few things in the sky. I'm going to share my screen. We'll go to the usual spots. This is the sky. This program is stellarium-web.org. It's a free web-based program. You can put the date, time, location where you are. You can add the constellations and take them out. You can add the art and take it out. So that's what the sky looks like naturally, but we add that in. You can put in the atmosphere, take it out. You can also put in the landscape. So we're looking at this on December 21st. That's when the sun actually enters the constellation of Sagittarius. So the entire transit of Venus through Libra, the sun is going to be mostly in Ophiuchus. Mercury will be mostly retrograde. So let me back this up to the days that we're talking about. So here's when I'm recording this video. This is Venus leaving the very last degree of Virgo and entering into Libra, the scales, the balance, the light between worlds, the time of being on trial and letting go. So here's her transit. And you can see Mercury over here moving backwards as we progress. Sun enters Sagittarius. Mars is in the heart of Scorpio. Mercury is on the other side of the sun. And then Venus enters Scorpio on the 31st. Okay, so this is the energy we're watching. Basically, a quick 2-week transit. Get ready, guys. Let go. Let go of everything that you don't need right now. This will be a time of Venus containing herself, having to go through all the holiday rituals. Meanwhile, getting ready to burst at the seams with creative energy. So we're going to walk through all that shortly. Okay, so I hope that makes sense. All right, let's get into the transit. So, of course, I have the December recap here. Most of this transit has a lot of Mercury energy in it as well. On the 12th of December, Mercury went retrograde and there was an Ophiuchus new moon. So this was a powerful reset for Venus energy because all of the aspects were literally absent here, the end of this week in the middle of December. On Friday the 15th, Venus moves into Libra, and that is what we are going to talk about today. All right, so I'm going to talk a little bit about Mercury going retrograde. Let me show you the chart real quick too, so you guys can see Venus moving through the chart. This is December 14th here, and we're going to go day by day. You can see Mercury has just stationed retrograde a few days ago in Sagittarius. So this is the full transit for the 2 weeks of Libra. The reason it's not 30 days, guys, is because Libra is a small constellation. It is only like 19 degrees. So there aren't a lot of, it's not a lot of time. I was going to put all three of these constellations together, but these two are super powerful and I really want to focus on this energy when Venus gets in there. It's going to be a very interesting time. So here it is. Okay, so that's what we're talking about. Most of it, like I said, is going to be occupied with Venus moving retrograde. Venus will end her opposition with Jupiter and begin in opposition with Uranus, still retrograde. So a lot of the energy will dominate the creative self that wants to bust out is going to be pulling on and creating a tension with the Venus that wants to create. And so, and also to put on the airs through the holidays. So you're going to feel like you're bursting at the seams a little bit. I would recommend doing this constructively, but let's take a look at how long this is actually going to last for Venus energy. So Venus opposing Uranus retrograde. Uranus is an energy of mutation, differentiation, seeking enlightenment through the new. And Venus is thinking and feeling outside of the box, but still has to toe that line in Libra. There's a balance that has to be walked in Libra between chaos and order, because you can't have complete order because there's no creative energy, and you can't have complete chaos because then what are you doing? You're not doing anything constructive. So you're going to be taking care of the niceties. You're going to be wanting to burst forth, but it's not quite time yet. And I feel like that's what this opposition energy is for Venus. This is from the 15th all the way until the 26th. On the 16th, a Capricorn moon will square Venus. So you're going to feel this responsibility today, probably this weekend. This is probably one of those holiday weekends that we have where we have to do what we said we were going to do, even though we feel like we have a creative idea and we need to get things going. So just work with it constructively, feel that responsibility, do what you need to do. If you have a burst of creative energy that's conflicting with the things that you need to do, channel it somewhere where you can store it. Write it down, record what you're thinking, paint it out, dance it out, whatever you have to do. That way it's not disrupting the flow of the letting go process of Venus. On the 18th, an Aquarius moon is going to trine Venus after she completes her trine with Saturn. This was a lovely time. I always love Venus-Saturn energies, even the squares, because the squares are like nudges in the right direction, and the trines are hang on to your hats because we're gonna flow with some very structured energy, energy of responsibility. And a lot of times this can be very good for getting things done and taking care of the things that you need to take care of. So hopefully you're getting the vibe of these few days. And the next thing that's going to happen is a Venus trining on Neptune. This is going to occur for basically the second half of this short transit. So while the energy for Venus opposing Uranus is increasing, and then decreasing, you're going to have the Venus trining Neptune energy increasing, peaking, and then decreasing as well. And all of this is going to culminate right after the holidays. The weekend before Christmas and then the week between Christmas and New Year's Eve is a very interesting week energetically. Now, a Venus trining Neptune is usually a really, really nice energy, but it may or may not help the opposition that you're feeling to Uranus. So you're going to want to take care of your business, but make sure that you do it. Go down those creative rabbit holes. You really want to do that because that's the part that's helping you let go of and shed the things that you don't need. All right. So you're going to have creative rabbit holes. Venus is going to take you down those, down that energy. On the 21st, which is the Thursday before that weekend, this is when the sun enters Sagittarius. This is when we actually have a constellational Sagittarius season for the sun. It is the return of the light. The solstice occurs right here. That's the reason we put up all these Christmas trees, because we're asking the light to come back. This is when it begins to happen, and the sun enters Sagittarius on the same day, and it is just an incredibly beautiful synchronicity. On the 22nd, the Aries moon is going to conjunct Uranus and oppose Venus. So we're going to literally want to burst into this new energy that Neptune's creating for us, that Uranus is pulling us towards. You're going to want to burst into it, but just hang on that Friday. Stay focused because, and I'm going to go on to a little aside here about Mercury again. Mercury, like I said, has been retrograde this whole time, but now you're at an inferior conjunction with Mercury and the sun, meaning that you have Sun, Mercury, and Earth. Okay. Whereas 2 months ago, it was Mercury, Sun, and Earth. So Mercury is very, very, very close to Earth right now, transmitting and receiving the light of the sun in a very, very intense, very quick, high frequency way. The best way to get through Mercury retrograde, in my opinion, is to literally, if you have to do things in the 3D world, stay very focused. Intense mindfulness. Yes, I'm taking my right foot and I'm picking it up and I'm placing it in front of me. Now I'm taking my left foot and I am placing it in front of me. I am watching the area around me so that I do not trip. I'm making sure that I've got my keys, that I've got my phone, that I've got the things that I need to go into this next space. All right. If you're doing anything on the internet, double check what you've said. Check and make sure that what you mean to say is really what you wrote down. All right. So intense mindfulness around movement and around communication and also around understanding. If you can do this, Mercury is a very magical time. You can literally manifest things with thoughts, synchronicities everywhere. But also, this is a very highly traveled holiday. So it's important to be mindful when you're traveling as well. It's going to be very busy. There's going to be a lot of humans that are susceptible to this intense Mercury energy, not paying attention to what's going on around them. So the 22nd is a big day. You're going to get that hit from the moon, conjunct on Uranus, and then opposing Venus still. And then you're going to have Mercury at its peak of the retrograde. So, and then Venus trining on Neptune is pulling you down those creative rabbit holes, while at the same time, you want to burst out of this energy and be in the depths of the Scorpio energy. All right, let me just show you a chart real quick because I feel like I'm not making that much sense. I probably am, but let's look at it the 22nd real quick. This will be helpful. And I'll even take out my pen and show you what I'm talking about. Okay. So here's your sun in Ophiuchus, right? Conjunct the galactic center, conjunct Mercury in the inferior conjunction. So that's right here. So it's Sun, Mercury, and then Earth. Okay, that is where we're at. The retrograde period starts from here as Mercury orbits the sun, the most intense periods right here, and then stations direct and continues its cycle. This happens about every 116 days. Venus is here in smack dab in the middle of Libra. And the Aries moon is conjunct Uranus. Oh, Jupiter and Uranus. So the moon moves really quickly, but it's basically in this space. Okay. So you got this opposition here, trining on the sun. This is very intense energy, you guys. This is when you're really, really going to feel the energy that I've been describing. All right. Let's go back. Let me erase that. Clear all drawings, and we'll go back to the calendar. Then something really amazing happens. Let's see, when does this start? This starts on the 24th. I did a short little line right here so you guys can see that. But essentially what's going to happen is Jupiter is going to sextile Saturn until the end of March, starting on Christmas Eve. And this is actually going to impact all of our lives, every single human, you, me, everybody, for several months. And the wave starts at the end of this month. This is an incredible energy. This is a nice expansion of faith and opportunity in the new systems that you have set up for yourself. Because you're going to, you know, this is just the beginning of the energy, but as you move into January with this Jupiter sextile Saturn, you're going to have the time. You're going to be amazed at how much time you have and how productive you are. And the reason it's so long is because Jupiter is going to station and turn direct during this aspect. And then Jupiter will go from retrograde to direct. So when you have something that's slowing down, the transits are longer. And of course, Saturn is a slower planet as well. All right, let's see. Christmas Day, Mercury is still retrograde and re-enters the constellation of Ophiuchus, crossing the galactic center. So Mercury has already crossed over the galactic center once, hanging out in Sagittarius at the beginning of this transit, bringing in the wisdom, transmitting the wisdom of the higher truth to us, and now is bringing that wisdom back through the galactic center to finish the retrograde on the 1st. So this is the constellation of the ascended Christ and the light, and it's going to station direct here on the 1st and then move back through, cross the galactic center one more time and re-enter Sagittarius, completely integrated and connected. On the 26th also, which is the day after Mercury enters Ophiuchus again, Chiron will finally station direct. So Chiron has been retrograde for several months, and this is also the full moon in Gemini. So let's take a look at that day on the chart as well. See what that energy feels like for us. I'll probably do another video on this full moon. I also want to do a fun video for you guys, doing the astrology of the Grinch. So stay tuned for that. I've been researching the author and or actually the whole story on how the Grinch stole Christmas. But anyway, let's look at the 26th. Here we go. So yeah, here is the Gemini full moon right there on the very cuspy cusp of Taurus and Gemini. This, by the way, guys, is a region called the Silver Gate. This is where on the southern aspect of the ecliptic, you will see the constellation of Orion. So you'll see Orion's belt, the star Sirius, and this is what's called the Silver Gate. This is where a human energy, a man energy of Orion stands guard. And then over here on the opposite side of the zodiac ecliptic, the other man, Ophiuchus, stands on the northern aspect above. So you have this sort of angular guards, and this is the Golden Gate. Okay, so you have the Silver Gate and the Golden Gate. This is a spiritual concept, and I went over that in my Ophiuchus class. So if you guys want to check that out, the link's below. So yeah, I will probably do a separate video on this, maybe go into the Golden Gate and the Silver Gate a little bit, because this is actually really, really beautiful. Chiron going direct. Also, this energy is nice. Here it is, station direct Chiron. This is going to be a great time once Chiron starts moving forward for finally letting go of the hurt and taking action to heal and to reconnect with spirit. Also, on this day after Christmas, Mercury and Mars are conjunct in the galactic center. Mars is the divine will of spirit. And so this is done through the communication of spirit. And it is in the constellation of the Ascended Masters. This is just at the Golden Gate. This is such beautiful energy. So, literally, as we end this energy of Libra and we're letting go and we're letting all this incredible cosmic energy come in, the last two. Yeah, the last two transits for Venus is going to be Venus sextiling Pluto and Venus squaring on to Saturn. Let's look at that on the calendar. So here it is, Venus sextiling Pluto and then Venus squaring on Saturn. Remember, Saturn's not so bad with Venus. The square is always to take an action. Either the action is going to feel like it's happening to you or you have initiated it. Hopefully you have initiated it, even though it may be painful. It may be something that you really didn't want to do, but then realize that you kind of have to. So that is the Venus squaring on Saturn energy. That is going to last you until January 5th. At the same time, Venus is going to sextile right after the full moon in Gemini is going to sextile Pluto. Pluto's at the very, very end of Sagittarius, reworking, changing, and transforming what we understand as the truth, what we understand as the highest wisdom for humankind. So tie up the loose ends that must be attended to. It's your responsibility because, like I said, once Venus moves into Scorpio, that dragon energy, that Kundalini energy is going to be on fire. And it is so important that we recognize this and work with these energies. On the 30th, the Venus trine to Neptune is waning off. Jupiter is going to station direct. And then Venus is going to, the moon is going to T-square, or Venus is going to T-square a Leo moon and Saturn. So this is a waning moon because it was over here as a full moon. It's still in that third quarter, which can feel intense. I recommend doing something really constructive today, staying connected to spirit. Use what you've learned through here. It's probably okay to start being active with that creation. Instead of bursting out into Scorpio, just get ready for the quick, as best as you can. That's what I would do on the 30th and the 31st. Let's see. Yeah, so that's all of it, I think. Yeah, let me stop sharing. We can chat a little bit. So the next Venus forecast is going to be through Scorpio, where Venus will literally, utterly shed all the old and transform into a completely new and different energy that we haven't experienced all year. It's going to be incredible. Guys, in January, I'm going to offer a Venus course. Usually I pull my people and see what they want to learn next, but I'm just really feeling called to share with you in a course format that is organized and knowledgeable about Venus energy and how to use it in your astrology. So stay tuned for that. I also do Venus-centered natal readings and Venus forecasts, transits, horoscopes. It will completely change how you use your celestial energy. These are recorded. I read your entire chart, so you get like a natal reading, but then on top of that, you get a detailed reading of your Venus and then 8 weeks of Venus transit. So you can start working with and developing your Venus creative power. These are 33% off until the end of the year. There is a link below for that. So yeah, there's a lot going on, you guys. I mean, I really don't even know if I can tell you in one video. So join the Fellowship of 13 Sign Astrology to stay up to date with the cosmos and the amazing work that me and my colleagues are doing right now. All right, guys, I love you so much. Thanks for joining me on this video. If you love it, give it a like. If you're not subscribed and just lurking, go ahead and subscribe. We're real friendly here. And until Venus enters Scorpio, namaste. I love you.